Here we go. New year, new targets. Peter, get me a latte, please.
Americano for me, please. Hey, where is Dhruvji? We all are back from our holidays and he's still enjoying? Not fair.
Yeah, he was planning to go for trekking on his holidays, right? He's supposed to be. Oh, look, who is here? Mr. Dhruv, the trekker. We were just talking about you.
Thank you all. The serene mountains, fresh cold air, and lush greenery. Ahaha, just wow, Sonal ji. Have you ever been trekking? It's amazing, isn't it? Can I have a turmeric latte, please?
You mean haldi wala doodh? Brother, one haldi wala doodh for Mr. Dhruv.
Cool. We all know you are just back from an adventure trip. Looks like you enjoyed your trek a lot. I too have done trekking a few times myself. The trail either leads to a mountaintop or a stunning viewpoint. You know, we used to hire a local guide to help us navigate the tough terrain and steep slopes. And for me, guide is just not enough. I need a lot of preparation and someone who can keep me motivated and push me throughout the trek.
Absolutely. Trekking does need a lot of strength. Strength comes from fitness. And with fitness, we get the power of resilience. And with resilience, we get the power of bouncing back from our failures.
Yes, just imagine the fitness level of trekkers who climb peaks like Mount Everest.
Those are the times when their physical and mental fitness are tested to the limit. What do you think, Sonal ji?
I totally agree, Dhruvji. One thought comes to my mind after listening to you. Aren't we all climbing our own Mount Everest in life and our fitness levels are being tested all the time? For example, sometimes mental fitness in the form of tough exam or a tough job. Similarly, emotional fitness while handling expectations in our relationships. And I think in such situations, we need social, emotional and spiritual fitness too, along with mental and physical fitness.
So true. I think by now our listeners must have already guessed that this episode is about high five to holistic fitness. But this time, the discussion will be in a coffee shop.
With this, I, Sonal.
I, Dhruv. We welcome you all to another episode of Soul Vibes.
Namaskar.
Dhan Nirankar.
Can I ask you, Goldi ji, what is your take on physical fitness?
Thank you, Dhruv ji and Sonal ji, for arranging Soul Vibes with coffee. I feel the greatest wealth is health. I have always been someone who cared deeply about staying fit. Yoga and dance were my go-to workouts, and my body was always flexible. A few years ago, when I moved overseas from India, everything changed. My work life became hectic, and I started ignoring my diet, which adversely affected my physical fitness.
I agree. It does happen a lot that we take our health for granted.
Yeah, actually, I was diagnosed with a severe foot infection and recovery took almost 7 months. During this period, my yoga and dance practice completely took a backseat. I completely stopped my workouts. I used to be known for my flexibility. People even called me Spring because I could mold my body in yoga and dance. And here I was. I couldn't even do basic things. I felt like I had lost myself. I was upset. I cried. And I thought, what happened to the person I used to be? Well, I was lucky that I could confide in my brother. I shared all my pain with him and he said something powerful. That was, do Simran and start your workout journey from the basics. Practice yoga and dance with consistency and you'll find yourself again.
Goldi ji, it's a great thing that you could seek help from your brother. We all can see the results. You look so fit now. I feel it's very important that we reach out for help without delay. Also, as you rightly said, start from the basics and maintain consistency.
Ji Sonal ji, I took his advice to heart. I did Simran and prayed to Almighty, asking for strength and guidance. I prayed, please be with me in this journey and help me stay consistent. As they say, when the mind is strong, the body follows. I started with basic yoga and dance steps again. Slowly, I began to feel like myself again. I even started choreographing for my friends and family. My strength came back, my flexibility returned, and I could move my body as I once did.
Great to hear about your recovery. It's always easy to start a new thing, but it requires a great deal of mental strength to stay disciplined like you.
Yes, Nitinji. I feel in this invaluable human life that we have been bestowed, physical fitness can't just be a choice, but a necessity. For as the saying goes, the greatest wealth is health. Without health, all other riches have so little value.
Totally agree on this point, G. I think your experience really brings a perspective on how physical fitness shouldn't be ignored. Like Nitinji said, that it really requires a great deal of mental fitness as well in this chaotic life situation. Baba Hardev Singh Ji Maharaj used to say, easy busy. It's a quote of just 2 words, but it has so much depth.
So true. Nitinji, maybe you could tell us more about mental fitness and how to remain easy busy?
Sure, Ji. Let me bring in an analogy. When Formula 1 racers begin to lose control of their cars, they have a choice, either to crash into the railings or to get back onto the track. They are trained to focus their attention on the track instead of where they could crash. This helps them to navigate the momentary loss of control and not get overwhelmed by stress and fear.
Even in our relationships, anxiety, fear, and stress lead to anger, and it becomes the cause for decline in relations.
If I ask a question, in such a mental state, how can one bring balance?
The more we focus our attention on the material world, the more entangled we get psychologically in its stressors.
I agree.
This causes anger, frustration, hatred, depression, anxiety, and so on. This practice of shifting our attention and focus towards God requires mental strength and fitness, as the gravity of the negative feelings is sometimes very hard to push away, especially in the heat of the moment. But it is possible with faith, conscious practice, and mental resilience.
I completely agree. But how do we achieve this? It's difficult to think rationally during such situations.
I work for a large financial institution. We operate across all time zones. Sometimes the work, the long hours, the situations at the workplace, and the associated stressors become too overwhelming. In those moments of stress, through the grace of Satguru Mataji, I get reminded that I have taken the reins of my life in my own hands. I have unconsciously become the Karta, the doer in those moments. This is the cue from the Almighty, reminding me to hand over the reins of my life back to Him and live peacefully even in those stressful situations.
Yes, I think a spiritually enlightened person has this kind of awareness. No matter whatever situation life is in, they always keep calm. कैसी भी हो परिस्थिति, एक सी हो मनोस्थिति. Himank ji, you were talking about relationships. So, do you think we should consciously cultivate social fitness?
You know, the other day, I was at a cafe, just sitting and observing. I saw a group of friends at a table, but no one was talking. Instead, they were all glued to their phones. No eye contact, no laughter, just silent scrolling. It made me wonder, are we truly together or just physically near each other? With this example, I wanted to highlight the fact that social fitness is also very important. We just heard Goldi ji's experience, where she reached out to her brother without delay when she was lost in thoughts. Life often places us on slippery slopes, moments of uncertainty where even the strongest amongst us struggle. In these times, we turn to physical, mental, or emotional strength. But one strength we rarely talk about is social fitness, the ability to build and maintain meaningful connections in a world that's growing more disconnected. We live in an age where staying connected is easier than ever, yet true connection feels rare. Conversations have turned into messages, emotions into emojis, and time spent together has become time spent beside each other, lost in our own screens.
I think it's something that's a common observation, and to be honest, we all are a part of it.
Once, a wise man said, "The business of life is the acquisition of memories. In the end, that's all there is. But how strong bondings are we creating if we are always distracted? Another time, I was walking through a park with my friend Ashwinji and we noticed an elderly man sitting alone on a bench. Something about him just felt lonely. As I passed by, I gave him a smile. His entire expression changed. His face lit up and he smiled back as if he had been waiting for someone to just notice him.
Oh,
That moment stayed with me because it showed me that human connection isn't always about deep conversations. Sometimes it's in the small gestures, in simply making someone feel seen. As the Hindi saying goes, मुस्कुराने की वजह ना ढूंढ, बस मुस्कुरा के वजह बना दे.
I love that. Smile is the shortest distance between two people. In fact, smile has no language. It just simply connects us.
Exactly. Social fitness isn't about how many people we know. It's about the depth of the relationships we nurture. It's about checking in, listening, and truly being there. Because no matter how strong we think we are, what age we are, we all need people. And sometimes they need us too. As the quote says, sometimes our light goes out, but is blown again into flame by an encounter with another human being. Maybe just we can be that flame for someone else.
as we hear, as humans, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is really the core of what we exhibit to others through our emotions and bring social balance.
I think it would be right to say that balance between physical, mental, emotional, and social fitness defines a persona of a human. Let us also hear from Shilpa ji, a youngster from our coffee table. What is her intake on this?
Thank you, Sonal ji. With my experience, I feel it is equally important to have emotional fitness in one's life. In the year 2022, I lost my dad. What followed was a difficult phase of emotional roller coaster which lasted till 2023. In the beginning, my feelings of unacceptance consumed me. I slowly drifted away from spiritual teachings and nothing made sense anymore. I was still studying in college and did not have a job yet. I was home most of the time, and in that space, I found my mind flooded with negative thoughts and emotions. I threw myself into a few temporary jobs to occupy my free time, and I did find a little relief, but I still felt the void within. And then I started creating distance from my friends as well. I noticed my passion fading away and I became short-tempered too. It all felt like life had stopped and nothing seemed to work out. So then, as I've often heard that if God brings you to it, He will bring you through it. Precisely that's what happened. I got news of an upcoming spiritual event, and the theme of the event happened to be Sukoon, peace within. I felt this was all happening for me. I got engaged in activities which included dance, conversations with friends, and planning for good outcomes. At home, I processed my emotions and got better hold of them.
There is always some light at the end of a tunnel, and I believe God always shows up in our dark moments. So, Shilpa ji, how did you overcome it?
After multiple rounds of dance practice sessions, you won't believe it, but I eventually performed Bhangra dance on the stage, and that energized me completely. I felt like I was a different person with a heart full of gratitude. The event was over in the blink of an eye, but internally I got healed and gained back my emotional strength. When I reflect back, I feel so blessed to have grown out of this whole situation through acceptance, faith, and gratitude. Today, I am much more aware of my emotions, and that helps me to be much more effective and productive.
Accepting emotional situation with gratitude in our hearts will lead to emotional fitness.
That is very true, Dhruvji. Life will definitely have slippery slopes along the way, but how we respond is in our hands. Satguru Mataji once said, "We cannot control the winds, but we can adjust our sails." When we work on ourselves and expand our emotional fitness along with faith and gratitude, I am sure we can get over the slippery slopes gracefully.
Can I add something?
Sure, Nitin ji, why not?
By practicing the surrender of our thoughts to Almighty, by focusing on Him in every possible moment till it becomes as normal as breathing, is what brings sukoon and peace within.
So true, Nitinji. Thank you for showing us the spiritual dimension. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. When we surrender to God and seek His guidance, we start to strengthen our spiritual fitness. With this, we can uplift our spirits, and when we connect with the Lord Almighty, we start to channelize the divine energy to all other dimensions of our lives, which leads to Godfidence.
Godfidence. Wow. Satguru Mata Savinder ji had blessed this word to us.
Yes, let's imbibe this in our lives too. With Godfidence, we get charged and energized. Our overall attitude changes and we feel more positive and stronger. And our whole life improves in an upward spiral of growth.
Exactly. Everything changes for good.
Spiritual dimension encompasses all other dimensions of fitness as well.
That's right. Our resilience and internal strength expands when we achieve holistic fitness in all 5 areas. That is, physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual through the application of discipline and commitment.
Also, we become internally peaceful, driven, and action-oriented. This creates a positive ripple effect in all areas of our lives. This journey starts from within, becoming a better person and eventually contributing towards a better society.
Hanji, when we consider human life as a precious gift from God and take good care of it, then our journey becomes blissful.
So remember, stay fit, don't quit.
And let's say high five to holistic fitness.
Until we meet again with another thoughtful episode of Soul Vibes. Namaskar, Dhan Nirankar.
Life is precious, Almighty's gift. Sound mind and body, lift and be fit. Eat healthy, exercise well. In God's grace we shall excel. Mind is a garden, take care of it. Plant good thoughts, stay mentally fit. Happiness pursued, negativity denied. Inner peace sought, teachings applied. Healthy connections, relations strong. Near and dear ones, always close. Open up hearts, share and care. Social fitness will make you glare. Pure emotions, love and might. Gratitude, humility, shining bright. No more chaos, eternally aligned. In emotional fitness, solace we find. Surrender, seek guidance, Almighty is close. With God remembrance, take spiritual dose. Expand spiritual fitness, you will thrive. With Almighty's grace, you will survive. Surrender, seek guidance, Almighty is close. With God remembrance, take spiritual dose. Expand spiritual fitness, and you will thrive. With Almighty's grace, you will survive. Pure emotion, love and might. Gratitude, humility, shining bright. No more chaos, internally aligned. In emotional fitness, solace